it doesn't, to be fair, it does not specify that you can't touch yourself, but as it's lay on hands, I feel like touching yourself isn't out of... Oh.
We're rolling. Dice. Camera.
Action! Hi there, and welcome to the BBEG Podcast, where we are currently breaking down your classes in the D&D world. And today's class is Paladin. But first off, let us reintroduce ourselves if it is your first time tuning in. My name is Emir, but everyone calls me Em because it's Welsh and confusing.
And we can't pronounce it at the best of times.
My parents can't pronounce it unless I'm in trouble. And we have...
And I am Hattie. My full name is... no, I'm kidding. We're not doing that. Yeah, you may have seen us before, but welcome back.
Yeah, we are typically a three-piece. Will, unfortunately, has been attacked by the evil forces of...
The workplace.
And
the true BBEG.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so can't be with us today.
Whilst he is fighting those forces of darkness, we're going to talk about the forces of light.
Yeah!
Which is the Paladin.
Woo!
Let's take you through this. The whole point of this is to hopefully help you understand the classes better instead of reading a 300-page book. That's a lot to take in, so hopefully we simplify it a bit. If you have any questions, never be afraid to drop us a comment, email us directly. We will shout out all of our socials and where you can find us later. But Paladin.
Have you ever played one before?
Right, so I started off DMing a few Paladins.
Mm-hmm.
Garen was a barbarian when I was DMing, but I've played with Paladins.
Yeah.
Cool. And now I'm guesting on RFI. That's Roll for Imagination. If you've not heard of them, check them out.
In this,
the
bottom of the screen. have a look.
They're a lot of fun. They've got a few short campaign podcasts going, and I'm lucky to be featuring on one. And the character I'm playing, he's not a straight up paladin. He's a sorcerer, which is a paladin sorcerer multi-class.
Ooh.
However, his main part of him is a paladin.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm having a lot of fun with him. A lot more fun than I actually ever anticipated.
Oh.
I think it's the same with Cleric. I've done some one-shots and realised we all know what I'm like. I love my magic. And not saying I'm not into my fighters, because I've played a fighter and a barbarian now, and I realise how much it's fun to smash.
Yes.
But I think this balance of smash, but I'm going to hit you with something hard that's been given to me divinely through a god or some magical aspect where I can beat the literal shit out of you is quite fun. I really enjoy it, especially this character because of the backstory I've given him. It's a Greek mythology inspired campaign. We know what I'm like with Greek mythology.
Huge nerd.
Huge. So without giving too much away, because you need to listen, and if I say too much I don't want the players finding out more.
I also don't want to know, because as much as I know you and we have a couple of other friends of the podcast and ourselves who are also in it, I want to keep the magic alive for myself.
But he took his paladin side because he follows Apollo as his god, and I love that side of things. But also there's an attachment to Apollo with the muses and the oracles and all that stuff, and it's just of an interest to him.
Yeah.
And if you tune in, you'll find out why. And that's where the sorcerer side kind of comes in, just for a bit of balance. There's some other reasons why the sorcerer side comes in.
Yeah.
But I can't give that away.
Please don't give that away.
But it's fun.
Yes.
And I think I've definitely learned what a paladin is capable of.
Oh, okay.
So if we're talking...
Stereotypically, in my head, a paladin is your... Now, we've used the term the God Squad before.
God Squad.
But that is what a paladin is. They come in, they're the first on the battlefield, they're doing all of and doing the revivify and the this, and then they're doing some chim chim and they're leaving.
Yeah.
that is in my head. A paladin and a cleric in my head are very, very, very similar.
Yeah,
but one
they are.
can take more damage than the other.
Yeah, I would say if you were to compare the two, clerics are great healers and great like buffers.
Mm-hmm.
However, they can also really pack a punch.
Yeah.
I just personally wouldn't put a cleric up front in a fight to start off with.
Because they're squishy.
In comparison to a paladin and bit, they don't have the biggest health barrier out of the game with only a D8, but they do get the armors, you know, that a lot of the lower classes, the classes that have the lower health point barriers do not get.
Mm-hmm.
They have health spells and like defensive spells, and then just out of nowhere they can channel their god and like smack a bitch with like so much force, like how Naz did in our elf one shot, which was so much fun. I would say basically flip that on its side. Paladins are made to be more upfront and personal, and then their health healing side is there, but maybe not as much as a cleric.
Got you. Okay, they're able to do the damage, and heal the damage.
Like they can heal themselves in a moment. They do have spell slots to use, but they might not have as many. Or just as many features that help, because there are certain cleric subclasses that boost your healing abilities. You don't see as much as that in the paladins. There are some features that help share some health, but it doesn't mean they're getting it on top of. Whereas there's some features if you use this spell, you get a bonus on it.
Okay. Is the conversation that they have with their deity similar to that of a cleric? Or would you say a cleric is more intense and a paladin is just... I guess
that's more personal to the character playing, person playing. I kind of look at clerics as like divine god squad. Like your monks, your nuns, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Apparently a nun is great with a battle hammer. Who knew? Whereas... paladins, if you look at other game structures, are like classes like holy knights. If you think very typical like Final Fantasy or Fire Emblem and stuff like that. So there is that element, but most of them are more focused on like justice and like good and evil than actual God's work. Whereas I would say a cleric is like going around in the name of God.
So you have a paladin is more common sense moral. Cleric is more doing this in the name of...
The paladin still might follow a god that aligns with them. But that's why they're called oaths for their subclasses. Because you vow to live a set way, to practice what you preach, and then you might just follow a god who might bless you in certain situations, and you might turn to them in certain situations. Whereas a cleric is very much like, I'm doing this in the name of...
Got it. Okay. If you were going to summarize a paladin with that in mind, what would you class them under?
Right. There's kind of 4 ways you can class them. So if we look at all the archetypes for gameplay, you have a tank. I think paladins make great tanks. They might not be as tanky as people would think as a barbarian who has the highest hit point barrier in the entire game with a D12. Paladins have a D10, same as a fighter. However, paladins have access to heavy armor from the get-go. So they might not be having the biggest health barrier as a barbarian. There's only 2 points in it. But if you're playing with your constitution ability, you can boost that. And if you're covering yourself in fancy armor that barbarians typically do not use.
No, that's true.
Not saying they can't, just they typically don't. Or it might not. I think they can have medium. I need to double check this.
I want to say you are allowed to you have to choose medium. You don't get to...
Yeah, easiest way to do this is we have everything in front of us.
All of the knowledge.
And I just want to check because... Oh, it's right here, isn't it?
Yep. You are on it.
Light proficiencies.
Armor, medium armor.
Yeah. Okay, and shields.
Yeah.
And they have an armoured defence, which is why most people take them, because they don't need to wear anything, because medium armour can still come with disadvantages.
Oh, if I just for context, selected a barbarian for Will's current campaign. She wears very, very light armor because she is sneaky. I think I have like sleight of hand and stealth, I think, are at +6.
Yeah.
So I was like, whoo, she's nimble. She's sneaking around with all of this armor. So she's like twinkling.
So yeah, like tank-wise, they can get up close and personal, pack a punch, and be the frontline person of your group because they've got shields, armor, and they've got spells to back them up.
Yeah.
Or some divine features that they get throughout leveling up. They're also great damage dealers. Yes. Again, depending on the sort of fighting style that you pick when you get to that level, but you could pick to be a greater weapon expert.
Yes.
So your greater swords, your great axes, they typically pack more damage than most other. It's like 2d12, 2d12, 1d12, or 2d6, depending on. I think a great sword is 2d6 plus your modifier, and then the great axe is 1d12.
Yes,
basically the same output, just in different variations. Again, and if you put a channel divinity on top, or divine smite, should I say, into the back of that when you hit someone, you get extra damage going in.
Yeah. Oh, I think I made Helga the wrong choice again.
you learn. And then there are two other ways that I look at them. I class them as a secondary healer.
Yes.
If they're the only healer in your group, you're still fine. You've still got someone who has access to health spells and a cheeky feature called Lay on Hands, where you get a set amount of pool.
We will cover this because it's in the.
But you get a set amount of points that you can just share around with your group to heal them, and then you're like, wonderful, and that's a feature. So it's just a case of long rest. Yeah. But I wouldn't say they're as effective as maybe a druid or a cleric who would have all the benefits of bumping up their healing abilities.
Yes.
But still, you're not screwed.
No. You're so far from screwed with this.
I would say, personally, better than a ranger.
Yes.
Which is kind of stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Because a ranger just doesn't have as many spell slots as a druid.
No.
Or even a cleric.
Yeah.
And they don't get any bonuses to healing.
Yeah.
Like, feature-wise. Whereas a paladin has still got a feature that can help you just heal in an instant. And you can use that out of combat in a roleplay scenario where you're thinking, and the Lay on Hands doesn't just cover healing.
No.
We'll cover that in a bit.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the face role, the leadership role.
Mm-hmm.
Their charisma is meant to be one of their highest stats along with their strength.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you are the leader, or would be the leader of an army or party, or able to, as a knight of a realm, be able to, with the prowess that you have, I'm assuming, walk into somewhere and have to, like, ignite the hearts of the people.
But also their magic derives from their charisma. So when they're spellcasting,
it's all from them.
Yeah, it's their talent and their riz, as the kids say. Oh God, I felt old.
Kids say.
Jeez, I felt old doing that one. But yeah, so they.
I genuinely thought you were going to go down the charisma, uniqueness,
nerve and talent
situation.
I should have done that. But yeah, like, great for rallying your team together to inspire people, to inspire the townsfolk in a roleplay situation.
Yeah.
Or to calm a situation.
Yeah.
To persuade someone to join a team, or like walk the other way because we need to get this done. Like, so great for so many things. And that's 4 main areas that I think are quite vital in D&D. Just because you can't do one doesn't mean you still can't get involved.
Yeah.
But if you've got a character who can kind of do a bit of everything, snaps.
Clicks for you. Yes. Okay. So, with that in mind, are you creating a stereotypical paladin? Are you following the PHB that recommends that you put, like, strength and charisma as your highest? Or are you flirting with the stats a little bit more and choosing something else?
I mean, I'm going to double check what I have put for my paladin. But I've probably got a bit more stereotypical.
Okay.
I've definitely not picked a race that I think most people would think of.
Okay. I don't know what race they put in the book. Let me quickly have a look.
They don't always say a race to pick,
no,
but you see stuff online that typically gives you an idea. Like the artwork itself, it's gone for a half orc. And you're like, okay. And most people think half orc
strength
because of the strength. Yeah. Some people think human because you get the +1 on all.
Yeah. Or you could go variant human where you get to pick +2s for things.
Also, paladins kind of work with that human aesthetic just because of everyone's like, oh, it's the Holy Knight. They've probably got nothing else going for them. Why would an orc who is typically seen as the bad guy in a lot of things, even though it's just another race that you can play, and they're like, oh, well, they're going to be trouble. No,
you could, if you wanted to, do the subversing expectations and go tiefling because of the 2 in charisma.
Yeah.
And then be a tiefling paladin.
Yeah.
Which you look like a devil, but you're dealing the holy. You're doing the holy work.
So for me, I got lucky and I got 3 really good stats.
Nice.
I mean, my stats in general aren't too shabby. I put my highest in charisma.
Stunning. That's where your magic comes from.
Yeah, because I was having my sorcerer multi-class moment. I really wanted to emphasize my magic, and I really wanted to emphasize what I could do roleplay wise.
Yeah,
like I'm not always someone who typically rushes I can't finish that sentence. As can't rushes headfirst into a fight. I have locked myself in a room before with a drunk group of goblins and smashed the hell out of them.
As a barbarian, I do believe that was one of the most funnest things ever. Where you went, are they all in one room? And was it Tyler who was DMing? Tyler went, yeah, they're all in one room. They're pretty drunk, but the door is open. So if you wander past, they'll notice you. And you went, nice. Guys, I'm going to do a thing. And M walks into the room, closes the door, and just beats the living shit out of all of these goblins. As all of us, I think Tyler described it as all we could hear was the sounds. So it was just like the door was closed and all we could hear was, and then like a whole load of just like thuds occurring. Like,
I heard drunk and goblins, and I was a dragonborn barbarian and went,
I could take him.
I think my first shot was I used my breath.
No, I think you went, because you already had your axe in your hand, so I think you went swing, then breath.
Yeah, very that. But yeah, so for when I was building it,
yes,
the race I picked was an air genasi.
Oh,
I just love the aesthetic. We know me and my elements.
True, but doesn't that link to because you're in a Greek mythology?
Greek mythology. It also connects to my backstory.
Apollo? No?
Apollo is the sun god.
Yes,
so there is a sky element. Yeah. But also, out of game, one of my favourite gods is Poseidon. And yes, he's water, but he's also god of storms, and I just like that sort of style about it. So I get a boost in Constitution and Dexterity with an Air Genasi. So I still put my highest 2 in Wisdom and Strength.
Yeah.
But then my Dexterity is the same as my Strength, because I went, if I ever in a situation I want to be a bit more nimble, or if I don't have the weapons that I need in the moment and I've got other weapons, I'm still going to pack a punch with some more simple stuff. And then Constitution was the next step down, giving me enough to... It's a +2, so I'm always going to get an extra 2 points no matter where I level up. And I just thought it's a nice rounded situation. Potentially could get a 12, potentially could get an 8.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm happy. So that's kind of what I went down. It's down to you how you want to build a paladin.
Yeah.
You can scrap the usual stat build. Naturally, you need to consider charisma no matter what, because it is your spell.
Yeah, it needs to be in there.
Yeah.
We'd recommend quite high because it is your spells and you can tap them onto other things that you are doing.
However, if you want to play a paladin who is struggling to tap into their magic side, maybe it's just a bit more average. So when it really hits, incredible, but it's not happening as often. And everyone's like, no, come on, you're like a last hope in this moment.
Yeah. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. Strength for the fighting. However, there is a thing called a dexedin, where basically people swap out the strength stat for dexterity. All depends on how you're going to build it. if you're going to build it and take the fighting styles that reflect that,
yes, true.
then go for it. You just really need to think it through.
Yeah.
But there's nothing stopping you.
No.
Like Edge Nasty, I could have completely done that because of my +1 in Dex and just put all my fighting in Dex. I didn't want to do that.
That's fair.
But I wanted the options that I could dodge and...
Yeah, you can be nimble with it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Even in armour, because in some armours, I'm going to probably be a bit problematic.
Yeah. But also there's, I don't know, when you are building a character, I would recommend building them online because then it means that you can see how the numbers change without having to do the maths yourself.
Yeah.
So you can go through and put them where you want them, have a look and be like, oh, actually, no, I'd prefer it if this one was this one.
100%. 100%.
And if you get through all of the building and start playing and realise that you do want to swap your strength for your Dex, talk to your DM.
Exactly.
Figure out a solution together.
So, nailed it.
Yeah. The background that the PHB does recommend is the noble one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what is in a noble background.
My notes. It gives you proficiencies in history and persuasion.
Okay, which is good because of your charisma, you're going to need it.
Yeah. I think it's nice that it gives you the history one because it's the intelligence side of the skills list. And if you're thinking about everything that a paladin could possibly be good in, I think religion and history probably would fall into that.
Yeah.
But they're both under intelligence. You might not have put it into... You might not have put much in your intelligence skill, but to have a boost in just one of them, I think it's handy.
Yeah.
Because again, you might not be a religious paladin, like
That's
devout
true.
or whatever. You might just only turn to this god when you're like a bit desperate, but you're only really aligned to them because they have the morals that you stand by.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. You might not actually have anything else to do with it.
Yeah.
So would you be that interested in the religious side, whereas a cleric probably would?
Yeah.
But the history, just to get that boost and an extra boost on persuasion, which would already be in your charisma stat, why not?
Yeah. It can't hurt, especially when you are having to stop fights, start fights, maneuver people, rally people.
Yeah.
It relies...
Persuade a congregation to join your cause.
If you have to roll like persuasion, you need it as high as possible.
Exactly.
Speaking for myself, because my rolls are awful, I need that bonus to be a plus over 5. We need to stack them.
You also then get a language,
yes,
obviously of your choice. So pick whatever you want. You might want to talk to DM about what sort of languages might be out in the world, or you might just want to go in blind.
I've done
and
that many
see
times.
if the DM clocks what you've put down. I think any good DM should read your character sheet and go, okay, they've picked that. I'll influence this at some point, which is something I try to do.
Yes.
Because to me, any language is open in our world.
But that is time specific. If you are the campaign we're doing currently, we have tiny little snippets of our backstory sewn in because we'll only be running this for 6 weeks or however many sessions there are. And so the snippets he has is like random people from our backstory will just appear and it's whether or not we want to work with them. Whereas the campaign that you were running before you went on tour was longer. We were able to thread more in. We were able to cause absolute havoc with everything. So you have got time to be like, this is written in Infernal. One of you can read this.
I wouldn't even be like, one of you can read this. If you don't remember that you can read this language, that is your own damn fault.
It's not about whether I can read it, Em. It's about whether I can roll it.
I've been there. But yeah, so that's what it recommends. It makes sense. It's pretty. You also get a gaming set, which...
Why not?
Like, it could be cards, it could be dragon chess pieces.
D&D.
Like, it could just be a pack of dice, I guess. But yeah. Other backgrounds to consider, though. You've got one called the Faction Agent.
Ooh.
And that you get a proficiency bonus in Insight.
Yep.
And then you get the ability to choose another skill to gain the proficiency in out of Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. So the fact that you get Insight, which I'm pretty sure falls under Intelligence... or it's Wisdom, it's one of them. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
Total sense. Having insight is great. To be able to tell if someone is lying to you or being truthful to you or understand a situation that is just going on that you've maybe just walked into to try and get a vibe, great. And then that can help inform you and the rest of your party.
Yeah.
To then have the power to pick another skill out of 3 of your attributes, especially if you want to play it smart and go, well, my charisma is going to be my highest stat or one of my highest stats or so really excel there, or the chance to then look at your intelligence and wisdom and go, what are these skill attributes like anyway? Could there be something that's useful and therefore I want to boost it a bit, even if it just ends up being a bit more average, but just boosting it so it's not completely useless.
Or boosting it so that it, like, you're always going to have numbers that are lower than the rest, and sometimes that gap can be immense. And even if you just want to boost your lowest one just so it's like not...
Exactly. No, 100%.
Just so it's giving you a plus and not a minus.
Yeah.
You just want to give it a helping hand. Yeah.
Either excel in that area or round yourself out a bit. Yeah. And I think to have that option is great.
But it does depend if you're min-maxing all of your stuff. Obviously, if you are, then you're going to slam it where you're going to slam it.
Yeah. You also get to pick 2 languages with that one.
Oh, okay.
So that's what got me, is the fact that you get to have one skill, you pick another, and you pick 2 languages.
Yeah.
Now, some people look at languages and go, yeah, but like, how often do you actually use them? You never know. It could be something you're reading. There could be a tomb that you find.
Yeah.
As in a tome, should I say, not a tomb. But again, a tomb could be a tomb, and it's got engravings all over, and it's dwarven, it's elvish, and you're like...
You have to work out the hieroglyphics, or you have to...
Lord of the Rings, speak friend and enter.
Yeah.
Because one of them read dwarvish. It was a dwarvish mountain.
Are you sure? You sound really unsure.
Mine's a Moria. Back off. But yeah. So I think it's just a great background to consider.
Yeah. Now, we have already covered races very lightly with like half orcs and humans and things, but you also could do dragonborns, because the racial bonuses is always something that you should consider.
Yeah.
If you have a race in mind, stick with that. If you don't, maybe look at the racial bonuses that you get, because it will help the stats that you choose. So your dragonborns have a +2 in strength and a +1 in charisma.
Yeah, which hit home at what your paladin technically is.
Yeah, which is perfect. You can also go with Aasimars.
Yeah. These work mechanically and aesthetically.
Yes.
Aasimars are a celestial being from an outer realm plane. Basically angels.
I completely forgot. Yeah. I was trying to work it out in my head, and you said it.
Blue, floaty guys.
Yes, with the wings.
Yeah. What I was playing for Tyler's campaign.
Yes.
Where I'm a cleric druid multi-class. I'm hitting my multi-class error.
You really are.
But it's like an angel, so it makes total sense to be this divine light. Oh, I'm also an angel. Like, yeah.
So yes, so it does work with a storytelling element, but then you also have, is it Warforged?
Just quickly to jump on Aasimars, a reason why to consider them is they get resistances to necrotic and radiant damage.
Oh!
As a paladin, again,
amazing,
makes total thematic sense.
Yeah.
Shining of Light, you're good against other beings of light if someone wanted to take a stab at you, but also against undead or like anything, any spell that could come at you that's necrotic. Necromancer, warlock, like it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm back to Warforged.
Yes. Okay, so you're allowed to stack up +1.
Yeah.
Onto anything.
Yeah, so they have a feature that gives them a +1 on their armor class.
Yeah.
In general.
Okay.
So if you're just taking Naked Warforged because they're made of metal anyway,
of course,
and say AC is based on your dexterity, say it's only 3, so that's 13.
Yeah.
Well, the +1 would make it 14. However, you put a shield on top of it, armor on top of it, or even a like a shield spell, like an armor class spell that boosts it all. You still have all of them, and then you get to put the +1 back on. It doesn't go away.
The ultimate shiny.
So, like, it's then really hard to take you down.
Yeah.
And I just think,
if you're going into a battle-heavy campaign or one-shot, this is probably the one to consider.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be doing the fighting all the time.
Right. And then not only that, but you also get poison resilience and immunity to diseases.
Yes.
So I think the fact that you're halving poison damage straight away is excellent. And then immunity to diseases means if something happens, if you eat the wrong thing because someone's or tried to curse something to cause a disease, you are fine.
Yeah.
And at least there's one member of the party who's going to survive.
Yeah, true. And if you are a paladin, you have the ability, if you do survive, to go and heal everyone else almost immediately.
Yep. I think that's kind of it, yeah.
I kind of want to build one now.
Yeah. What, a paladin?
Yeah.
Or a warforged?
Yeah, kind of both, to be honest. Like, I know a barbarian is cool, but this sounds cooler.
It's because you like magic like me.
I do like magic.
So
like
you're getting your magical fix.
Yeah,
but
also get to hit things.
Yeah. Shall we class?
Yeah.
Shall we class? Shall we chat?
Shall we
class features? So class features is where you will be getting a set amount of features as you level up through your paladin. This happens to every single paladin.
Mm-hmm.
It is then when you take your oath at level 3, when you get some extra features that are only for the oath that you have taken.
Yeah.
So the ones we're talking about right now, class features,
for everyone.
Is for every single paladin.
Yeah.
No matter
for
what
free.
your subclass
like you
is.
don't there's no catch 22, there's no you have to reach a certain level. For some of them there are, but we will take you through that. So like level 1, these are the things you will already get the moment you start.
Yeah.
So you're not starting a campaign or game with nothing.
No.
You already have something, and then you gradually just accrue more things as you level up. Yeah.
So the first one you get is Divine Sense.
Yes.
Basically, this is a feature that allows you the ability to sense good and evil around you within 60 feet.
Yes.
Not only that, though, right, let's read this properly. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. So say you're in a battlefield situation, or you're being shot at and you can't see it. You use this, you can detect where they are if it is one of those creatures. Unfortunately, if it's not those creatures, you're screwed. But you might have an idea that you're going in.
We, on our first episode of your campaign, fought
zombies. That would have covered undead.
Yeah.
So if they were trying to hide at any point, or if you just had a paladin and you weren't sure what they were and went, I'm going to divine sense this, and went,
they're actually...
these aren't good guys. And then maybe Will wouldn't have run head first into zombies.
We said they were zombies. He ran anyway.
But not only that, within the same radius, when you also detect the presence, you can also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated with the Hallow spell. So that's just an extra bonus within that, which I think is pretty handy.
Somebody has destroyed things here. Or created things here.
Yeah. This feature happens equal to the number of your charisma modifier.
Yeah. So I'm assuming your spell DC?
Yeah. Equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier.
Okay.
And then you get it all when you finish your long rest. So if it's charisma modifier 4, 1 plus 4, it's 5. 5 times to use that in one day. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And people might think, it doesn't do that much. But at level 1, if you can just give yourself and your troop a heads up of a situation, you have more info to play with. If you can register that they are undead, celestial, or a fiend, you could narrow. You can't identify in terms of you know the type.
Yes.
So you know if it's celestial, fiend, or undead, but you can't identify the specific person.
Yeah.
But if you can identify the type, and you've got a paladin or a magic user who goes, I got a spell that's pretty handy against undead or whatever.
I have fire.
Yeah, or a radiant spell.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean? Like, very handy.
Yeah.
Very handy indeed.
Okay, so the next one you get, which I think is really cool, is Lay on Hands.
Yes.
Now, this is a kind of big bang cure wounds situation where you get to run up and cure people. Ah!
Yeah, nailed it. You get a pool of points, which is 5 times your paladin level.
So at level 1 it'd be 5.
Yeah, at level 2, 10.
Stunning.
Yeah. So I'm now level 3 with my paladin.
So you get 15?
Get 15. So when you think you're in a group, obviously I could be level 4 at this point because of my level 1 in sorcerer.
Yes.
And have 20. So imagine that at level 20.
You've got 20 hit points to be able to dish out. I'm assuming it's to you and people you are touching. So if you yourself are injured, you can just...
Yeah. Well, it doesn't, to be fair, it does not specify that you can't touch yourself, but as it's Lay on Hands, I feel like touching yourself isn't out of... Oh, the words I'm using. Laying a hand upon your own shoulder or chest.
Taking the fun away from all of us. All of us dirty-minded individuals.
Yeah, I touched myself enough. I don't need to... Oh, why did I say that sentence? We're going to cut that one out.
No, we're
not. But yeah. But not only that.
Yes.
So you can heal however many people. There's not a limit to it as long as you can touch
as you
them.
have the points.
So
the points are the limit, I'm assuming.
If you've freed a group of hostages, and you just want to make sure they're all right, you could go 2 health points each.
Yeah,
so everyone's got a little bit. You could look at your group. It would stop someone from going into death stage if you just went 1.
Yeah,
1. But not only that, if you were willing to expend 5 health points, you could neutralize a poison. So if someone had been poisoned, and you didn't have a cure, or you didn't have the time to take them to someone who could cure them,
you couldn't be bothered. You just wander over and you're like, bing!
Yeah. Okay, it takes up 5 of your pool. So at level 1, that would be the whole thing. But again, to neutralize a poison that could literally kill someone, worth it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop. You can keep doing it as long as you have 5 available points available. I'm not doing well with words today.
So if you're at 15, you have the ability, should you wish, to either depoison 3 people, depoison one person, and then still have 10 HP to dish out to whoever needs it.
Yeah.
Or have 15 HP to dish out to whoever needs it.
Yeah.
And this is at level 1. So you would have 5.
Yeah.
You can either cure someone of being sick.
Yeah.
Or...
neutralise the poison.
Thank you. Or just play Duck, Duck, Goose on whoever needs hit points.
Duck, no for you.
No for you. You're
That's
fine.
the goose.
That is the goose. Run!
Yeah.
And if you do not have a healer in your party, please consider this one as tank plus healer, because I think it's really cool.
This is why I class them as a secondary. They have a cool feature that allows them to heal. They just might not have the boosts or the spell slots that a druid and a cleric would have. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
Yeah.
And then, so that's level 1. Those are the 2 big things that you get at level 1. Level 2 is where you start to choose your fighting style.
Yes.
You choose one of the options presented to you. So that's either if you're creating it with the book or with the D&D Beyond, they will give you a...
Here you go. So if we just go from the PHB... You can pick from defense, dueling, great weapon fighting, or protection. And they all have a different style. So with the defense, when you're wearing armor, you gain a bonus plus 1 to your AC.
Stunning.
Dueling is when you are wielding a melee weapon in one hand, which is what I believe I've picked for my paladin.
Yeah.
You get a plus 2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon.
Nice.
So if I can add an extra plus 2 to damage rolls...
Yes, this isn't hit, this is damage. You've already rolled your 1d10 for your...
But great weapon is pretty cool. When you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack you make with a melee weapon that you are wielding with 2 hands, you can re-roll it.
Yeah.
And must use the new roll. So you've hit a 1 or 2 and gone, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah. Especially if, like, what you have rolled is a 1.
Yeah.
If you have rolled a 1, 2, a 1, a 2, a 3, the ones where you know there is no saving it.
We're good.
Oh.
Wind. We have a skylight and we
it
just
is
make
open.
noise. And we're like, rain.
So if you have you've rolled a 1, a 2, or a 3, the rolls that you cannot save, no matter how much you're proficient in, you can just be like, hold up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that again.
And if you're thinking of a great sword, which is 2d6, or a great axe, which is 1d12, that's really great for the great axe to go from a 1 to a potential 12. You might not hit the 12, but...
No, but it gets you...
You got a really good chance of not landing on 1 or 2 again.
Yeah.
When you're rolling 2d6s, now I don't know if you can do it to both die, if they both landed on 1, but still the chance to at least change 1.
Sorry, 1 or 2. Not a 1, 2, or a 3. My bad.
But
1 or 2.
I think the chance to at least change 1 of your die that has maybe hit a bad roll, still, it's a great thing to have. But yeah, so you just pick what type of style you want. There are loads more. You can find them online. You can find them in all the books. They are scattered around. You know, there's a bunch in Tasha's Cauldron. Like the Blessed Warrior, the Blind Fighting. That's not bad, actually. But yeah.
Yeah. Just before we go, protection is just you are able to... if you see a creature being attacked within 5 feet of you, you're able to add disadvantage to the attacker's attack roll. To the friendly, not the other way around. But you must be holding a shield.
Yeah.
It's the only speculation there is if you ain't holding a shield, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Also at level 2 is when your spell casting really comes into play. So this is when you're getting your first set of spell slots and your first spells to choose. So all you have to do is look at the spells list, see what is available, and make some choices. That could be a simple cure wound spell. That could be some spells that are, you know, going to help you in a fight. But then that also kind of comes into the next feature, which is Divine Smite.
You have then got Divine Smite at level 2.
Yeah. So this technically uses a spell slot, even though it's a feature. So starting at level 2, when you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can expend 1 spell slot to deal radiant damage on top of the melee attack you have just caused.
Yeah.
So if you are going in with a great axe at 1d12, and then you're going, I'm going to Divine Smite.
Yep.
The extra damage is 2d8.
Yes.
And for a first level spell slot, on top of a melee attack, I really don't think that's bad. You get some spells that are 3d6.
Yeah.
Okay, but if we look at 2d8, you're technically only 2 points away from the maximum threshold they could hit.
True.
And you've already got an attack in there.
Yeah.
So when you're layering that on a 1d12 or 2d6, the potential is 28 points. And that's not even including the modifier of the melee attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can keep stacking this up by a further 1d8.
Yes.
For another not another spell slot, for a spell slot of a higher level.
Yes.
So once you have a second level spell slot, you could be like, oh, I'm going to use a second level spell slot, a third level spell slot. So then it'd be 2d8, 3d8. The maximum you can do is 5d8, which is a 5th level spell slot. However, there is one little loophole in this. If you are fighting a creature that is undead or a fiend, you also get an extra 1d8. And that is the only thing that goes, so it could become a 6d8.
Yeah. So if you're using a 5th level spell slot and it's against a
zombie.
68, please. Let's go.
Or even a first level spell slot and it takes a 2d8 to a 3d8.
Yeah.
It's nothing to laugh at.
No.
Like, great.
Not at all. Okay, swiftly moving into the 3rd level. So 3rd level, you have Divine Health. So the magic flowing within you makes you immune to disease. That's basically what it is.
It's great.
Means that you cannot be brought down by sniffles or a cold.
Yeah. I think that's probably the only time we'd go, so do I need a Warforged as my race? Because they get that anyway.
Yeah.
But you have it straight away.
Yeah.
Not just at level 3.
That's fair. Also at level 3, you get your Sacred Oath. Now, this is the Paladin word for a subclass. Every class has a different words. Every class has a different word for a subclass. Oath or Sacred Oaths are what Paladins typically use.
We will go through all of them in a quick summary after we finish the features.
Absolutely. And with these Sacred Oaths, you also get spells tied to each. Now, these are only part of the oaths themselves.
Yeah.
These are not part of the features. So if you have selected a different oath from the spells in the oath spells list you want to use, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But we will cover them all later.
Mm-hmm. Next up, you get your Channel Divinity.
Yes.
So your oath allows you to channel divine energy to fuel magical effects.
Mm-hmm.
So each Channel Divinity option provides your oath by your oath, and your oath will explain it.
Yeah.
So if we are just to... Yeah. I was going to find an example, but I've written the summaries very quickly in... But let's just
But this is also third level. So at third level, you do get an awful lot more, but that is because the subclass has sewn it all up for you.
Yeah. Sure. I'm just going to do one example, just so we have a full reading of one. So Channel Divinity for the Oath of Glory, which can be found in either Tasha's Cauldron or the Mythic Odysseys of Theros, which is...
That's so cool.
Yeah, the artwork on this. You know how I love an alternate cover. So... For Channel Divinity, your 2 options, you always get 2. Peerless Athlete and Inspiring Smite. It's not you pick one for the rest of it. You get both and you pick which one you want in the moment.
Oh, okay.
So Peerless Athlete is, as a bonus action, you can use your Channel Divinity to augment your athleticism.
Yeah.
So for the next 10 minutes, you have advantage on strength, athletics, and dexterity acrobatic checks.
Yeah.
You can carry, push, drag, and lift twice as much weight as normal, and the distance of your long and high jumps increase by 10 feet.
Yes. You are an athlete.
Yeah.
You are a divine athlete.
So, in that moment, it's really handy, and I like the fact that you get this so it works outside of battle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not everything can just be, you do get something to help with fighting, but the fact that, like, acrobatics check or athletics, if you need to run up a hill and, like, jump a gap or a gorge, or, like, maybe there's a bridge that you're on and it breaks in the moment, you can, like, incite this Channel Divinity to help yourself. Make sure you don't die from this falling bridge or this gap that you have to try and jump.
Yeah.
You need to carry something in the moment that is heavy. I just think it's a fun additional thing for some roleplay abilities, and it lasts for 10 minutes. So it could be done in battle if something comes up. It could be great for a mission that you need to get on with. You want to try and get through things a bit quicker, you know, dodge things that could be booby-trapped or whatnot. Acrobatics. You also get Inspiring Smite, which is immediately after you deal damage to a creature with your Divine Smite feature.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Divine Smite is when you get to add additional 2d8.
Yeah.
You can use your Channel Divinity as a bonus action and distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, which can include you. The total number of temporary hit points equals 2d8 plus your level in this class, divided amongst the chosen creatures however you like.
Beautiful.
So you get to smack someone and go, guys,
you are now
blessed.
More durable. Oh,
yeah.
Blessed. You are now blessed.
Like, you are taking a stab at someone's health. Basically, this is like soul sucking in my head.
Yeah, it's like you've taken it from someone and you're just like, well, now, give you. Yeah. And me.
You get a hit point. You get a hit point. Yeah.
Hit points for you. Hit points for everyone.
And again, in a battle setting.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not, how much more damage can I do? It's, I'm causing damage already.
Yes.
And now I get to buff up not only myself, but my allies.
Yes.
If you are in a moment where you're going, I'm looking pretty shabby. Excellent. If you're clocking your friends in battle, aren't doing too well, especially if you've got some spellcasters who are fragile. But temporary hit points can go above your normal barrier.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's temporary.
Yeah.
So once the fight is over, it's done.
Yeah. Oh, so if they already have like a hit points, armor class, hit points, if they already have a 12, you can boost them over that to like 13, 14, depending on how many you give them. Got you.
Now, in place of Channel Divinity at level 3, there's some optional features, so you pick which one you want.
Yes.
You've got Harness Divine Power. Mm-hmm. Do you want to...
Yes. So also at 3rd level, because it sits with Channel Divinity, you can expend your use of Channel Divinity to fuel your spells. As a bonus action, you touch your holy symbol, utter a prayer, and regain one expended spell slot, the level of which can be no higher than half your proficiency bonus rounded up.
Yeah.
The number of times you can use this feature is based on the level you reached in this class. 3rd level. Once 7th level, twice 15th level, thrice. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
Now it's an optional feature, so you either choose your Channel Divinity option or you take this.
Or Harness Divine Power is what it is called, and basically instead of having all of the Channel Divinity that you get through your oath, you are able to gain spell slots back. So if you are leaning hard into magic, this might be one to consider.
I do get it. I think in comparison to what Channel Divinity does give you, I don't think it's as exciting, and you only get one spell slot depending of your proficiency bonus. Yeah. Rounded up. Yeah. Great, fine. But yeah. But it's not, like you said, if you're really leaning into that magic,
maybe this
it might be for you.
Yeah, especially if like you're not a fighter.
Yeah.
If you know that the campaign you are joining won't have fighting in it, it's more of like a dungeon crawl storytelling situation where it's just like find the princess and deliver the princess. Then I don't know where I went on Mario Kart with it, but like
your backstory could be that you are from a long lineage of paladins in your family. Yeah. But you are scared to fight. Yeah. So you're like, I can do backup stuff, but I don't want to get in. It's like just holding a sword all shaky. I don't like it. Now at level 4, it's the same with every class. You get your ability improvement, or you could pick a feat. Yeah. So that's completely your call. You either improve your skills, your skill stats, or you pick a feat that could give you a fun feature to add on, and a lot of them do come with at least one extra score improvement. Yes, yeah. So just have a look into it. See what works for you and your character.
Yes, because you may want to bump up either one ability by 2 or 2 abilities by 1, or you may want to just pick up an extra flair.
Exactly.
It's entirely your call.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You also get, as well as another option for level 4, is martial versatility. Yeah. Whenever you reach a level in this class that grants the ability score improvement, so that would be 4, 8, 12, 16, or 19. Yeah. You can replace a fighting style with another fighting style available to paladins. So basically, this gives you the option to just like swap. Yeah. Swap which one you want to choose.
Yeah. Now, it says optional, and usually these things replace, but I wouldn't look at this and go, it replaces ability improvement. No. Because what would be the point? I think for me, this would be a conversation with your DM to go, you either pick what you've got and you stick to it, or when you hit these, naturally, when you think of rankings in armies and whatnot, you're probably going to learn different things. Absolutely. So why wouldn't you be allowed to go, oh, actually, I'm learning that I'm leaning into this style of fighting, so now I want to take that style as what I've developed and mastered.
Yeah, and it depends on the type of DM that you have as to whether they go, okay, at level 4, you will choose a new ability, because everyone is choosing a new ability or feat. But at level 8, we will use this option. Yeah. Or you will have the option to use this option.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a conversation that your DM and you will have to have because it doesn't really replace, and it'd be a bit unfair to take away the options.
And I don't think it gives an advantage.
No.
Like, against other people. I just think, oh, okay, maybe I'm not enjoying it mechanically. I can change it then. I mean, if you don't enjoy a certain fighting style and you talk to your DM anyway, I don't see why you can't change it there and then.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least they're given the chance to go, actually, I might play around with things.
Yeah.
Get a
and
sense.
It would sometimes fit the backstory that you have to be like, well, I've trained as a fighter or a knight and I've had all the training, but now that I'm in real world practice, maybe protection isn't really what we're going for.
Exactly.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
At 5th level, you get an extra attack.
Whoop.
Yes! So you can attack twice instead of once as your action or attack action when it is your turn.
Yeah.
Glorious. Everyone wants them. You will be envied by the entire party when the DM goes, is there anything else you'd like to do? And you go, yes! I want to swing again!
Yeah. At level 6, you get Aura of Protection, where whenever you or a friendly creature within 10 feet of you must make a saving throw, the creature gains a bonus to the saving throw equal to your charisma modifier.
Yep.
With a minimum bonus of +1, so it has to be +1 minimum.
Yep.
You must be conscious to grant that bonus.
Yep.
So basically,
you can't be asleep.
Yeah.
You can't be asleep. You can't be prone.
At level 18, the range of the aura increases to 30 feet.
Yes.
I think it's a fun bonus. Like, if someone is struggling with something, or you think, they're not going to
survive this, or
yeah. Especially if you've got a more fragile class that's about to being targeted, and you're just trying to help them out. Why not?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. At level 11, you get improved Divine Smite.
Oh, you've missed.
Have I? Aura of Courage.
Yeah.
So sorry. Level 10. Or I've just got so excited about Divine Smite again.
Okay, well, I'll cover Aura of Courage and you can go back into improved Divine Smite. Aura of Courage, 10th level. Basically, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be frightened whilst you are conscious. Again, just an extra bonus of spell castings who try and make you frightened. Characters who want to try and intimidate you.
I was going to say, there are some characters, aren't there, where they have fear. Or magical items that imbue fear.
Yeah. I think wraiths have a feature where, like, if they do a certain scream, it can cause fear. And it just stops that from happening, which means you can still attack and just get on with whatever's going on.
I kind of like that that's 4 levels after protection.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a gap. You've got 5, 6, 10, 11... Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. 11 again. We have improved Divine Smite. You are so full of righteous might that all of your melee weapon attacks or strikes carry divine power with them. Whenever you hit a creature with a what is that word?
Melee
weapon, the creature takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage.
Yeah.
Just throwing that at people. I love it.
But that's all your melee weapons. So this basically just happens all the time.
Yep. But level 11, which is an achievable level.
So now put that on top of your Divine Smite from earlier. So
just all the time. Just be throwing that d8 around. You're going to need more dice.
You could get 8d8. Because if the spell slot is 5d8, and if it's against someone undead, that's 6d8.
And every melee weapon that you have is 1 more d8, so it's 7.
Okay, 7d8.
In other words, what I'm hearing is you need more dice?
You need more dice. And then the last thing you get is called Cleansing Touch. Now, this is at level 14.
Yeah.
You can use your action to end one spell on yourself or on one willing creature that you touch. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit let down by the fact that it stops at 14.
That's because the oaths take you the rest of the way.
Oh, fair. Okay. I will hold my judgment until the end.
And also, you need to remember oath spells.
Yeah.
So you get
so
the spells at 3rd, 5th, 9th, 13th and 17th level.
Never mind.
So it feels like there are a few gaps, but it's because you've got your spells. But also, the oaths themselves have features that go from level... let's double check this. Level 3, 7, 15 and 20. So then when you're also throwing in your spells, you're getting stuff at least every other level.
I will hold my judgment till the end then.
Fair. So
sit back down. That's what I'm hearing.
Right, now it is time to talk subclasses. Now, we could take you through every single bit of a subclass and we'd be here forever. So what we've done is we've summarised them as best as we could to give you a bit of insight to what they are like style-wise and what could be good for, I guess, a backstory element of what to consider how you want to play it, and also some of the things that they do.
Yeah, as always, if ever you are unsure about the subclass, look at the spells list that is given, because it gives you a pretty good idea about what damage or healing or abilities that you would have without having to read the full description or have it linked to your character and be using it first.
Yeah. And we can do this. We can quickly read out the list as we go. Absolutely. So the first one is Oath of the Ancients.
Yeah.
So this oath emphasizes the principles of good above the concerns of law or chaos. Mm-hmm. The Oath of Ancients focus on using nature's forces to help restrain its enemies, utter words that are effective against fae and fiends, protect yourself and your allies against spell damage, and the chance to stop yourself from dying by dropping you to 1 hit point instead of 0.
Beautiful.
The nature's forces thing, it literally can send vines against someone to restrain them.
This is Paladin Druid Plus.
Yeah. So that is that sort of style. And would you like to read us the spells list?
I can read you the ancient spells list. So you get the spells, as previously mentioned, at 3, 5, 9, 13 and 17. And they're things like Ensnaring Strike, Speak with Animals. You get Misty Step and Moonbeam. You get Plant Growth, Protection from Energy, Ice Storm, Stone Skin, Commune with Nature, and Tree Stride. Language today. It's awful. So all very nature imbued. You get to talk with the animals. You get to talk with the leaves. You get to bask in the moon. Bask in the... No, you don't want to bask in Moonbeam. That would be awful. You get to send Moonbeam.
I was going to say, don't bask in Moonbeam because it hurts. It hurts.
Take it from us, kids. You don't want to bask in Moonbeam. All very... If you want to be druid-like without being druid-like, this one is the one.
Yeah, it's got a bit of flair to it. Yeah.
It's got a bit of the nature. The next one is the...
Devotion.
Yes, it is. It's the Oath of Devotion. Perfect for the famous Holy Knight style character, where your paladin acts with honour in pursuit of justice and the greater good. You are able to channel your divinity for 1 minute and add your charisma modifier to all attack rolls. Or cause undead harm, protect you and your allies from being charmed, and shine radiant light on a creature causing damage.
Yeah.
So you basically become ultimate shiny.
Yeah.
It's like,
ultimate shiny. Like, you are a flashlight. You are the Human Torch, but with elven Galadriel style flair.
You just glow.
And then the spells that you get for the Oath of Devotion, you get Protection from Good and Evil and Sanctuary at level 3. At level 5, you get Lesser Restoration and the Zone of Truth. Mm-hmm. Level 9, Beacon of Hope and Dispel Magic. Yep. Level 13, Freedom of Movement and Guardian of Faith.
Yep.
And then level 17, Commune and Flame Strike. Now, very obvious it's still going down that light route, but stuff like Zone of Truth, I just think, you think Holy Knight, you think someone who's trying to find what is good and what is evil. It is really hitting home at the traditional, Holy Knight style character that you find in things like Fire Emblem and I was going to say Final Fantasy. Yeah. Very different.
All liars are evil.
All those sort of games that you've probably grown up with.
Yeah.
Then after that, you have the Vengeance Oath. Now, these paladins will sacrifice their own righteousness to lay out justice to those who do evil. Here, you can cause enemies to be frightened. You can gain advantage for a full minute against one creature, gain access to reaction attacks against enemies, and even gain the ability to fly for an hour.
If you selected Aarakocra, would you be able to do that already?
Yeah, but a DM will probably hate you.
If you selected Aasimar as well, would you already be able to do this?
I don't think Aasimar's... I need to...
They have the wings, no? Is that not... Have I just...
Yeah, no, it's a weird one. They have some things that allow them to, like, levitate and stuff. Here we go.
I thought they had wings. I've got it wrong.
Well, they do, technically. 30 feet. Yeah, they have a fly speed of 30 feet. I don't think I've ever used that. Whereas Aarakocras, I'm pretty sure, are 50 feet, which is ridiculous.
Why am I pretty?
That's why most DMs don't like people who pick Aarakocrans, apparently, because it's
just
like...
fly away.
Yeah, fly and attack. You try and... you can fly 50 feet, but you can only walk 30.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think 50 is a little bit broken from level 1.
That's fair.
I would do it. You're allowed this amount, match your walking speed, and then come a set level, your flying's improved so much.
You're able to.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
Vengeance spells?
Sorry, yes, I'm just flying through it. So yes, your Oath of Vengeance spells. At 3rd level, you have Bane and Hunter's Mark. At 5th, you have Hold Person and Misty Step. At 9th, you have Haste and Protection from Energy.
Mm-hmm.
At 13th, you have Banishment and Dimension Door. And at 17th, you have Hold Monster and Scrying. Which I nearly read as crying. And then I thought, that can't be a spell. So yes, very much like the Divinity one before, but make it kind of vengeful.
Yeah. Very much that.
So you're there for the justice.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely there for the justice. And hate injustice, which is always good. After that, we have got the one of the ones from Tasha's Cauldron. There we go. So this one is Watchers. Yes. Nope, that's the wrong one. These paladins train their minds, spirits, and bodies to be the ultimate weapon against threats that might come from the outer planes. They can gain advantage in intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throws, cause extra damage to celestials, elementals, fae, and fiends, gain bonuses to your initiative that equals your proficiency bonus, and even gain 120 feet of true sight. Have an advantage on attack rolls against extra planar threats. So you get to Multiverse of Madness this.
Yeah.
Extra planar threats, and even banish creatures back to where they came from. So if a devil just like
But even celestial, like Aasimar, they're not from the typical plane.
From whence they came.
Yeah. Without the racism.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, no, actually, that would be with the racism.
Depending on how you're using it.
True.
If you're protecting the world, yeah. If you're a white knight, quite literally a white knight, going around like, return to whence you came. Problematic.
Oh. If you're wanting to create like a villains but make it real life.
What, racist paladins?
Racist paladins. That's all I'm saying.
The spells list. So 3rd level you get Alarm and Detect Magic. 5th level you get Moonbeam, See Invisibility. That's cool. 9th level you get Counterspell. No spell for you.
Oh.
And Non-Detection.
Yeah.
13th level you get Aura of Purity. You could use that. And Banishment.
Whoa.
And then 17th level you get Hold Monster and Scrying.
Oh, scrying. Cheeky bit of scrying again. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. After that, you have the Sword Coast book, which gives you the Oath of Crown.
Ooh.
So these paladins uphold the tenets of law, loyalty, courage, and responsibility. You can challenge others to battle you without being able to run away.
You can.
I've got the spells here.
Oh, well, then I'll just throw that at me.
I've got it as a download, not the actual book form.
That's okay.
But yeah, so you can challenge someone to a fight and they cannot run away.
That feels kind of mean, but okay.
But the whole point is like, no, I'm going to take you down. Okay.
Okay.
You can heal creatures within 30 feet of you by 1d6 plus your charisma.
Beautiful.
So there you go. This one does have a health boost. Have the ability to substitute your health for allies if they are damaged within 5 feet of you. So if an ally is taking 5 damage, you can go, no, I will take it.
Yeah.
Because maybe your health points are better. Maybe you've clocked what they're using, because sometimes paladins with their armors and their features get resistances. So then you'd be halving it anyway. That would be a clever way to do it. And then... yeah, and you even gain resistance to multiple damage types and can give your allies advantage on death saves.
Yeah.
Death save advantage. Handy.
Very handy.
What's the spells list?
The spells list for the crown is at 3rd level you get command and compelled duel. At 5th level you get warding bond and zone of truth. At 9th level you get aura of vitality and spirit guardians. At 13th level you get banishment and guardian of faith. And at 17th level you get circle of power and geese.
Oh yeah. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Yes.
They get geese at 17th level. I mean, that would be how you would instigate a fight. You just set a goose on them.
You can't run away from me. Goose.
Goose! I think that would be fun.
Oh my god, yeah.
A goose paladin. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, the next one is from Mythic Odysseys, which is the beautiful book we sent earlier.
And you can also find it in Tasha's Cauldron.
You can indeed. Yes, you can. And it is the Oath of Glory. With this, the paladin... Is this
the one that my paladin is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to read it?
No, you read it.
Okay. The paladin who trains hard and also encourages their companions. Here, you gain the ability to have advantage on athletics and acrobatics checks. You can handle things that are heavier than normal and gain 10 foot on long and high jumps. You have the ability to share temporary hit points to you and your party. And you can buff an ally's AC in the moment they are being attacked. The bonuses they receive is your charisma modifier. If then the attack misses because of this, you get a chance to attack the attacker.
Right. So you've protected a friend.
Yeah. You're like, don't worry, I got this.
I'm buffing your AC. Hopefully we got this together. Yeah. And in that moment they failed. And you go, okay, my turn to stabby stab.
Yeah.
You can see why I chose this.
Yes.
So the spells list that you get with this, 3rd level is Guiding Bolt, which is such a fun spell. Heroism.
Yep.
Level 5, Enhance Ability and Magic Weapon.
Yep.
Level 9, Haste and then Protection from Energy.
Yes.
Level 13, Compulsion and Freedom of Movement.
Beautiful.
And 17th, Commune and Flame Strike. Lovely. As you can tell, some of the spells lists have some similar spells and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But there's only so many spells in the game, but also they work for each theme of Oath.
They're very oathy.
Yeah. That is that one. So after that, we have Xanathar's Guide.
We do.
Where we've got Redemption Oath. So in Xanathar's Guide, we have the Paladin Oath of Redemption. These paladins are the street preachers of the group.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh. They believe everyone is redeemable and will only kill as a last resort. If killing the creature will clearly save countless others. It is very much like I will save you, which is why I wrote down in the notes the street preachers of the group. This subclass gives you access to a bonus +5 on persuasion checks. Cause enemies to take the damage they just dealt, but in radiant form, which can be really handy against any undead creature. Sacrifice your health instead of your allies, similar to that of Glory. Resistance to damage dealt by creatures. So any monster stat block that is deemed as a creature, you're resistant to any attack from them, and can also cause instant raging damage when such a creature successfully hits you.
Okay.
Yeah. Spells?
Oh, sorry, yes. My brain wasn't braining.
No, it's all right.
Okay. At 3rd level, you get Sanctuary and Sleep. At 5th level, you get Calm Emotions and Hold Person. At 9th level, you get Counterspell and Hypnotic Pattern. At 13th level, you get
Archiluke's Resilient Sphere.
Artiluke's Resilient Sphere. Yeah. And Stone Skin. And at 17th level, you get Hold Monster and Wall of Force. They are very kind of, I will attack, but not attack. Kind of attacking ones.
Yeah.
The next one in Xanathar's Guide is Conquest. These paladins seek glory in battle. It's not enough to just establish order. Everyone must die.
The evil people, not the good people.
Basically. It's just you can gain the ability to frighten your enemies and add a +10 bonus to an attack roll. You can reduce an enemy's walking speed to 0 and cause them psychic harm equal to half your paladin level, even to the point where later on, when a creature attacks you, it takes damage at the same time equal to your charisma modifier. Every attack. Everyone must die. Yeah. Is possibly the best line in these notes ever.
Thank you.
Everyone must die.
Basically.
Basically.
Your spells list is 3rd level, you have the Armour of Agathis and Command. Level 5, you get Hold Person and Spiritual Weapon, which makes sense. Level 9, you get Bestow Curse and Fear. Ooh. Level 13, Dominate Beast and Stone Skin. Yes. And then level 17, you get Cloud Kill and Dominate Person. I'm going to save the jokes.
What about dominating people? Welcome to filth.
I'm sure there's a number of people who've already unlocked that spell in our friendship group. And lastly, now, some people don't realise this, but if you get the DM's guide, the Dungeon Master's guide, it actually gives 2 villainous class options. One is for Cleric, and I can't remember if we covered it in Cleric. I'm sure we did.
What's it called?
Death Domain.
Yes, we did. Absolutely.
And then, for Paladin, it is the Oathbreaker.
Oh.
So, in this one, you have broken your sacred oath to pursue some evil power or dark ambition. Here you can control the dead, cause enemies to be frightened of you, be able to add your charisma modifier into your melee damages, gain resistances to damage types, and the fun feature of Dreadlord. This is your level 20 feature, where you create an aura that causes a frightened enemy within 30 feet of you to take 4d10 psychic damage. Give disadvantage to your enemies attacking you, and then be able to summon shadows to attack a creature, and they take 3d10 necrotic damage plus your charisma modifier. That is all in one feature.
If you want to go mad evil.
Yeah.
That is the one for you, I guess. But yeah, if you you thought about the light and you thought, it ain't for me.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. Yes, thank you. The Oathbreaker spells at third level, you get Hellish Rebuke and Inflict Wounds. At 5th, you get Crown of Madness and Darkness. Oh, these are all, yeah. At 9th level, you get Animate Dead and Bestow Curse. And at 13th level, you get Blight. You get Blight and Confusion. And at 17th level, you get Contagion and Dominate Person. truly beautiful set of spells there.
Yeah.
Not at all evil in any way.
But also, so great to make a evil paladin for like a NPC BBEG situation.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But yeah.
Yes.
So that is all the oaths subclasses covered. We've covered the features. We've spoken how to make a character, but also like what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Pros and cons to a paladin.
Okay. There's an awful lot of information here and an awful lot of options to choose. And I think the stereotype, similar to what I said about Barbarian, where everyone's like, it's a bit...
Yeah.
I feel like Paladin also gets stuck in that. I feel like it just gets stuck in the knight fighter situation.
Archetype of...
Where, like, you can't... there isn't much to do. Whereas in fact it's completely the opposite.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that you have so many options available to you and you have the first 2-3 levels to decide what you want to do before then doing it.
Yeah. I can't think of many cons.
No,
it's like it's quite hard. Like you think of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
They cover so many areas.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bit of a cop-out con, but if they are a tank, because they can do so much, I think if I was a DM and I see a paladin, I'd be like, you are a focus.
Yes, yeah.
Because can be heavy in a fight, can heal people.
Yes.
So not only can they deal mad amount of damage, but they can also keep healing themselves and others around them. Like, it's a threat. So... they've got a target on them.
Yes.
That would be my only real con.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I guess another con would be when you are picking your oath, you kind of then need to remember that's how you have to play your character. There's kind of no wiggle room.
No.
There are many subclasses to pick from that give you versatility and options. But once you've picked it, that's kind of your lane.
Yeah.
And you need to remember what your oath is and abide by it.
Yeah, you can't...
Watch them become an oathbreaker mid-campaign. I have no issue with that.
Yeah, that was going to be my thing. You can't suddenly discover fire and want to burn everything. Yeah. Just because you've discovered fire.
Yeah.
Which is sad. Because fire is great.
Do you have to play it?
You do, which is fine if you're like... if that is what you've written in the backstory and that is what you're happy with and that is what you want to play and you know you're going to stick to it because that is how you were going to play it anyway, then I guess it's fine. But I'm not like that. Yeah. And I would break my oath accidentally almost immediately. Yeah. But yeah, no, there was not very many cons. You get an awful lot. There's no disappointing 20th level where you only get to like build 2 other spell slots or whatever it is. There's no... I don't know, there's variants. There's so many subclasses to choose from. I always feel like it is slightly too much. Yeah. But then you have more options. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I like it.
It's got a lot of pros.
Yeah.
Like just what you can do in terms of role play with this character. It's almost one of the better class options for it.
This is why
I never thought of it.
This is why I'm stumped. The amount of ammunition you are given to create a character and go through with that character where you can either be holier than now and a complete, like, it's annoying how up themselves they are. Yeah. And that follows all the way through where you can be just a normal knight figuring it out. You can be fight heavy, you can be spell heavy, or you can be an oathbreaker and complete chaotic. Yeah. Like it doesn't, there's a one for everyone. Yeah. And I kind of like that, but it's also a lot. I'm conflicted.
So, to wrap up this entire discussion, something we do every episode is we are ranking the classes out of the immediate 12 that you get in PHP. Now, just because something ends up being 12 does not mean it's crap. It's just our preference of what we think we like to play and what we might not.
And they are personal preferences. Yeah. There has to be a 12th.
So let us know yours.
11th. Yeah. Email in or shouted us over social media. I have got the list of ones so far, if that helps.
Go for it.
So Druid and Sorcerer are my 1 and 2.
Yeah.
For this, because it is magic heavy, I'm either thinking 3 or 5.
Fair.
I think I'm going to go 5 just because of the amount of options to kind of deal with is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be up there with the like ones that I dearly love.
Yeah.
Just because they're great. So this one, is probably going to sit a healthy 5 for me.
I'm actually the same because I can't remember my exact list.
I've got your list.
Oh, do you?
1 is Sorcerer, I just haven't written it down yet.
Thank you.
And then,
You've not put Cleric down either.
No, because I can't remember what we said.
I think I put Cleric as 4 because I was shocked at what it was, but I could be wrong. However, all this conversation is changing my perspective about a lot of things. We all know I love magic, and I would have had Wizard so high up as well. But Sorcerer and Druid are like really me compared to Wizard.
Yeah.
And now stuff like this. Oh. It could move once we do Wizard because it was my first ever class as well. But I'm going to put Paladin at 3 because I'm really enjoying what I'm playing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And reading all this, the amount that they have, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take us out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you so much for watching us discuss Paladin. We hope it was helpful for you. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X. You can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast, and Apple Podcast.
And YouTube.
And YouTube again. Please find us on YouTube. It's where you can see us. It's where we will be visible most. Yeah. Yes. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do so via the social media platforms I have mentioned, or you can email in. You can email in to the BBEG Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah. And
you can find us on all the social medias and YouTube at the BBEG Podcast. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for watching, and catch us next time as we discuss something else.